Secret code. It's not wrong. You got to know the code for the printer. Well, Leroy handed them out already.
Well, that back 40 that wants something against the unit has been here. He's asking. Well, when I called up there, because obviously that's an incident, he was asking 21 and 8.
You move your microphone back to the right side now? You didn't work for you on the left side? I think you wanted the microphone switching to your left side.
Oh.
That's what you were saying before, right? Because the radio station microphone switches on the left side.
Yeah, well,
With the new system and the inside and the water back work.
We got enough for here.
No, with zoning.
It's the turntables.
Right.
You could argue that it's not very good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Once he was at where he was at. Yeah, he said no to me, maybe you'll have garbage. Maybe you could do it.
Look, Chris, how's that car weather outside?
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No mice?
No mice.
The neighbor down the street, I don't know why road paper's so expensive, why you got 9 rolls in camper.
Really?
They managed to go up a bungee strap and shoot away into the heater.
Wow.
Vent and made a Taj Mahal.
Ish.
I've never, in all my neighbors next door,
Yeah.
free for all chipmunks and everything in there.
Oh, yeah.
They've never done it, knock on wood, but I put steel wool fire.
Yep.
I put bounce and.
Well, the better than bounce is buy the essential oils, but peppermint. Soak cotton balls in it. Mhm. Mice don't like the peppermint oil smell, but you got to have the essential oils. Can't go buy cheap peppermint at the grocery store. I soak them in, like my boat. I put cotton balls in a pie tin, soaked in peppermint oil. Plus, it's a nice smell when you open it in the spring. Mice. Yeah.
Unless you leave a lot of chips and crap in there.
Yeah.
Well, there's
That's-
that.
that's for sure.
Food overcomes all of that.
Well, maybe if you vacuum it,
Yeah.
you put it away for the winter, vacuum. Yeah, just
A friend of mine had a really nice Corvette sitting in his garage, and came springtime, and he tried starting it, wouldn't start, took the air cleaner off. He found out where all his dog food went over the winter. When he opened the hood, she was packed full.
Yeah.
I had my 82 Mustang at my dad's in the lakes. And I said, Dad, I got a date, I'm gonna take it out in the car. Yeah, I'll put the battery in it, get it all hooked up, and in front of his house, and I dropped off and took up, jumped in the Mustang, ran out and picked her up on the way back to my house.
60 seconds to spare.
I made it. Out there. I said, let me put the heat on. And she said, something's power up her leg.
Oh, no.
She's freaking out. So yeah, needless to say, I had to take my Mustang. They got underneath it, all of the under hood.
Yep.
insulation.
Ugh,
Package full.
ish.
Red squirrels are good for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're good for that.
All right, 6 o'clock. Let's get started. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the Monday, March 21st, 2022 City Council meeting. We'll begin with approving or amending the agenda. Is there anything on the agenda tonight anybody would like to add or remove from the agenda?
No.
I would take a motion.
Make the
then.
motion to approve the agenda?
Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Al. Motion and a second to approve the agenda as written. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Consent agenda. Those items on the consent agenda for those items on the city council agenda, which are considered routine, non-controversial, are included as a part of the consent agenda. Unless a council member specifically requests that an item on the consent agenda be removed and considered separately, items on the consent agenda are considered under one motion, a second, and a vote. Any item removed from the consent agenda shall be placed on the agenda under old business. Tonight on the consent agenda, we have resolution 2022-11, adding a voting precinct. Resolution 2022-12, ordering an environmental assessment worksheet for the ranch development. Resolution 2022-13, approving a preliminary plat and final plat for the Flieger First Edition. And resolution 2022-14, authorizing the posting of weight limits in the city roads. Anybody have any of those items you wish to pull and discuss separately? Otherwise, I'd take a motion to approve consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Al.
Second it.
Thank you, Leroy. Motion is second to approve the consent agenda as written. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Open forum. The public forum is intended to afford the public an opportunity to address concerns to the city council. The public forum will be no longer than 30 minutes in length, and each presenter will have no more than 5 minutes to speak. Topics of discussion are restricted to local governmental topics rather than private or political agendas. The city council may discuss, but will not take formal action on public forum presentations. Is there anybody that'd like to speak in public forum tonight?
So you guys mentioned a couple, Kathy Holland.
Would you do me a favor, Kathy? Hold that button on the microphone to hold it down until the green light comes on there.
The left one.
No, just the one big one in the middle.
Power and mute.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So a couple times you've talked about the traffic study on Murphy Lake Boulevard. Are you guys talking about the one that you kind of started this summer and then stopped because it was happening during the time that 27 was closed for a while, so it wasn't going to be an accurate count? I saw one of the Hawkinson guys sitting there one day and I asked him, and he said, well, we're going to take it down for that reason. Is that the one you're talking about? Is that the only one that's been done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, because that one was done up on the blacktop, you know, by Action Garage Door and Krieger Excavating. Their traffic doesn't necessarily go down that road, so that wouldn't be accurate either, because theirs just comes right out and goes out. So if you're gonna capture Murphy, you should go down onto the dirt part. That's it. That's all I had.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
Mr. Mayor, I think it was past, it was north of where the turn into Action is and where Nate would turn in. It was north of there.
It was right across from Ayler's property. It's right where it was, because we stopped and talked about it. It was on the blacktop anyway. If you want to capture what's going down the dirt.
Well, it was on the blacktop, but when I saw it, it was past, it was north of where Nate would turn in. It was north of where the turn in was to Action. Okay.
Not the one I saw. Maybe they did more than one.
About this, Kathy, is we'll ask Shane, because
Yeah.
you're correct in that we were hoping that it was gonna be past the businesses, and I think that's why Brent thinks it was there, and that was just specifically what we discussed. So before we look at any data and make any decisions on Murphy Lake, let's make sure that we're looking at the right data.
Yeah, and I took pictures of it, so I can.
Okay. Because I think there was two done, because there was another one done because of the detour on Texas that the county had, but then we had asked to do one separately, so let's just make sure we got the right stuff when we're talking about the right stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody else for open forum tonight? Nothing, Tom? All right. All right, let's close open forum and move on to presentations. Tonight we've got Jake Bulk from Scott County here to give us a little update on the County Road 27 project.
Good evening. We are, as most of you know, we started here last fall. Majority of the work so far that we've done has all been utility relocation or utility relocation, modifications that we needed to do. We got the box culvert installed on the north end just because it was kind of deep and wet. We wanted to give it the winter to settle out so we get a good product there coming this year. So up on the screen, if I move over the screen, can you still hear me?
Yeah, the microphones are pretty high.
So I provided the township basically 4 maps, but there's really only 2
I
that.
didn't get 5 minutes in and you already owe a quarter.
Yeah, we talked about that.
That,
I thought the county was above.
Yeah.
I agree. Majority of the maps is the first one and the last one. When you look at the maps, you'll see the green arrows. The green is where our local traffic can move about throughout the project. The formal detour of this project is 21 to 13 to 44 around the horn. But being that we are presenting at the town board here, the city council, I wanted to show the green so everybody understood what we're doing. So in the first phase here, we're going to be operating from basically 170th up to Creekwood. Now, from 165th to Creekwood, that's going to be done under traffic, because at that point in time, 165th is going to have to go out to the north. And a little background to why the staging is what it is. It's what driving is the storm sewer. The high spot of the project is basically right in here. So this is one storm sewer system going this way. That's why we want to get it all in now, facilitate the drainage, so we start getting the area dry for ourselves. While this is going on, you're going to see that 27 north and south will get shut off from 21. We will start working on this south portion of 27. Now, all this is, we plan on starting somewhere around April 11th. You'll see, we're hoping to set up the flashing signs on Monday. This is all weather dependent. That could change with the next 6 inches of snow. But our goal is to be out there starting to hit it hard somewhere around April 11th. So as we look at this, Casey's gonna function here and go up to 170th. Will be the easiest route for them in and out. Now, I want to point out that any of these green traffic detours, if you will never be posted on a sign. Because what we don't want is the regional traffic seeing it, getting on the gravel roads, going through the residential areas. This will not get posted on our website. Like I said, the detour will be 13 to 44 or 21 to 13 to 44. So we'll get the bulk of this work done. And then we'll flip on to the next page, please, Chris. Good. Now, the only thing that really changes, like I said, these middle 2, most of the traveling public isn't even going to know this change happens. Creekwood, or 165th is still going out to the north. The 170th bump is now built in this, so we can get traffic onto there. We will start working through this area a little bit, just on the widenings, and we're still working down here. So like I said, a lot of this won't change. 165th will use Creekwood, so we can extend our working limits up a little bit. So 165th will go on to the new alignment over to Creekwood in this phase. That's really the only change that went on between A and B. Any questions so far? So now here we've extended out, we're going all the way up to 44 now. Majority of the traffic will be coming out either to 170th or north now. This phasing right here, Casey, I actually screwed up this line right here. Casey will go directly over. Just these residents right here will go over and out because we'll be working through this section. Again, this system from here to here is an entirely different storm sewer system than this part. So we'll start down here in the ponds and work our way to the north through that. This will be gravel. We are going to try to maintain the road as gravel with the blades and monitoring daily. If at all possible, we want to be able to drop the paver down on one end or the other and pull directly through when the time comes September-ish. So down here, we're placing gravel on this section. So just to put this into a timeline, we're probably in end of June when you're looking at the map right here as it sits. We need this portion. We promised the park to have this road open from 21 by July 4th, or the weekend of July 4th. So first, second, wherever that lays, I can't remember where it lays this year, but 1st of July, more or less, this will be open to traffic. That's our guarantee in this phasing model that we have. So again, A to C, not a whole ton of changes. Now, we're gonna try to notify the people that are living in these neighborhoods. We're gonna try to give them 2 or 3 days notice. So what we don't want is, we don't want you guys waking up for work and you're heading south on 165th and you come home from work and there's no way to get there. You gotta go all the way back around. So one thing, and I'll get the link to the township. We would somehow like to way to get it out to all the residents to use our link, because we'll put the notifications on there a day or two before.
Okay.
And the notifications might be as simple as 165th needs to come in from the north, you know, for the next 10 days, 14 days, whatever that is. We're changing how you're gonna get to and from your house to the main corridors.
Jake, will the county have like they can subscribe to that notification?
Yep, and the nice thing about it is they can subscribe to whatever project they want. So
Right.
obviously we have 5, 6, 7 projects going on. If they only want to know about 27, when we put the notifications out, they'll get an alert on their phone. So if you guys have an avenue of getting that link out, we'd love to utilize you guys getting that link out. Because the more we can get on it, the better.
So we've got our email list and website and social.
So, and the hard part about it is, we're the government, right? It's just another government email that no one looks at. I mean, I don't read the government email that I get, right? And I work for them. So it's somehow.
Unless it says Tony Winnicky on it,
Right.
the sender, right?
It is. But
Glad we're recording.
getting it out to people that this is actually gonna be useful for their day,
Yeah.
coming to and from, would be beneficial for all of us, I think.
Yeah,
So I'll send that stuff to you guys.
please.
And if you guys can shift it out with a message to your residents, that'd be fantastic. So moving forward, we'll move into the last phase here. And the last phase is essentially we're finishing this part, getting it up to grade from 21 to 170th. You know, now we're in July and August. Like I said before, we're gravel north to south. Everybody's running on gravel. We'll bring the pavers in. Our goal is to be paving sometime in September, end to end.
Except for the south portion, because that'll be.
This
paved.
will be paved as of July 4th.
Yeah, we can go left and right at the intersection, right?
So at the intersection, you can go left, you can go south.
Yeah.
Your north movement from 21 will be closed majority of the year.
What's the parks notification plan for their customer base when it's closed there?
So the park has linked our website right to their front page. So anybody that looks up when they can play golf or when the beach is open, they'll see that on the front of their page.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I wonder what their published route to get to the park is gonna be tricky.
Well, their published route is gonna be 91
To
to
68,
68 from 35W.
back
They're
up,
coming from the other side to 23.
they come down 87 and go back underneath, but yeah, you could go 23 over to 68 as well.
Driving through the dog park.
Yeah.
You need to get from one to the other side. So in a nutshell, that's kind of our staging plan to go through the season here.
Mhm.
So, you know, obviously, we're showing 165th can go out that way, but they're always gonna have access either directly to 27 or to get on Creekwood
And go around.
and go out.
So when you say that, so you're gonna leave the current entrance to Creekwood kind of there, passable anyways, up towards the end.
So that storm sewer is really, really deep through there. We got I think we gotta go like 26 or 27 feet deep coming out of that box culvert, and move up the hill.
Mhm.
So, you know, we'll start at Creekwood. So Creekwood won't be able to get out because we're gonna have a hole deep in the ground. You gotta come out and around, and then as we move past it, we'll get it backfilled and it'll come out the other way. So those two specific roads will be going back and forth as we bring the utilities, as we bring the subcut and the gravel through. They will be bouncing back and forth.
Okay.
I'll put that 1 gallon in the tailspin.
Questions
It's
on
gonna be
that?
tricky.
So Jake, so 27 from 165th or Creekwood, however we're accessing, depending on what's going on, up to 44 will be gravel pretty much all summer then.
We're gonna try to leave it gravel. If we start running into a bunch of problems where it just can't stay together.
Yeah.
We get
Mhm.
an inordinate amount of rain where it's just gonna washboard out constantly. If we can't manage it on a daily basis and have it travelable, we're gonna be forced to put down the base. We're trying not to.
Yeah.
Anytime we can put down from one end to the other, we get a much better product,
Right.
obviously. But if we
Right.
can't,
Right.
we'll have to patch in where we have to.
You spray it at all to keep the dust down or?
We have in the past. If it gets real dry, but in all honesty, it's easier for us to use a water truck and it's more economical too. The sodium that we're using, it just doesn't react well once we start paving on it.
Sure. Is it gonna be, is the pavement, is both lifts gonna be completed this summer, or is, wait till spring for the second lift, or are you doing both?
Our goal is to put it from one end to the other
Mhm.
and finish it this year.
Okay,
My problem area was the box culvert. That's where we went and got it in last fall and it did the shutdown. Now, if we find some muck areas that we didn't find with our borings,
Mhm.
we might hold off with that wear course. But as of right now, our plan is to get done end to end. If we find it irresponsible as we start working through the
Mhm.
project, we won't put it on.
Sure.
If during the southern portion, are you gonna monitor more late, that that starts to turn into a major issue? Come down and fix that then too.
So you're talking this portion?
Yeah, but I'm talking about because of your project at Lower Murphy Lake, which is a pretty substantial gravel road, if that starts turning into a daily issue and it starts turning into washboard because it's used so heavily, are you guys gonna come down and fix that then too?
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because we've had these conversations on other projects, and it is a touchy subject, because we have projects all over the county, in all the different cities and townships across the board. We will not be flagging any of these roads as formal detours. If we look at them, I personally think it's not gonna be as bad as other projects, because 21 is not gonna be shut down. If we were shutting 21 down for 30 or 40 days, I think people would use it more.
Find their way through there.
I look at the map and look at the ways around. I think predominantly this traffic's gonna be done by local traffic in the area. Now, with that being said, if we all sit down there, Leroy and I go down there and we look at it and the traffic's just astronomical, we'll talk to our maintenance folks to come down and run the blade back and forth. But it does get.
I'm not asking for a promise, I'm just, Google and the other apps don't care what your detour is.
Absolutely.
And the park has a certain mode that has nothing to do with credit or residents.
Right.
That if they're using a corridor coming from the east, the app is gonna take them down what it learns is the
Right.
quickest route, which could very quickly turn our Murphy Lake or into a highway that doesn't exist.
Well, we could probably close one end of that road too.
We could,
if
I'm
it
just
gets- if it gets bad,
asking because that.
The residents who live in that area would probably rather have it closed off anyways.
So that would be a
So I guess we just we'll just have to
traffic.
watch it and see.
Local traffic only or something.
Well, local traffic only go so far though too.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Well,
pretty much have to
Unless
just.
you barricade
I
it
think
off.
we'll just take this. We'll take the big cement barriers we have on Lynn Court. and
Anybody
bring them
in
up
there that
and-
says they turn around on the local road.
Right.
It's lying, because none of us do.
I was
So it's more of a hold my beer type of thing,
I was thinking Tony with a sledgehammer would be a pretty good turn.
Yeah, I think that's Jake really gonna be the one that we've gotta watch. Cause that road is not spectacular in good shape anyways to begin with, so.
And we have that in our notes on the county side, because
Yeah.
our original plan was to shut this down, because we do have to get storm sewer all the way across 21. We have to reconstruct the intersection, kind of straighten things out there.
Mhm.
We wanted to shut it down for about 30 days and get in and get out of there. But you look at that detour,
Oh,
it's almost 14 miles
yeah.
to have an actual on county or state facilities. It's a long ways around.
It'd be impossible to sign, right? You're talking, you'd have to like put signs on 35, Interstate 35,
All the way back to 42,
right?
all the way around. It's-
Nobody would ever see that.
So that's why we ended up pulling back after we got everything done and looked at.
Mhm.
And we can't shut down 21.
Yeah.
It's too important to get people in and out. So I do agree with you though, if the parks are utilizing, we'll have to look at signs. If it's getting banged up, we'll talk with
Yeah.
Joe and Will, and we can run the blade across it. So,
As long as it's firm and safe.
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, I think everything else is pretty simple. Other than that 165th in and out of there with them changing it, but they experienced that this last summer already, so I think that'll be not too big from difference from where they're at already.
Okay, how much guardrail's gonna be on
On the project,
there? Yeah, that 27's kind of deep on that one side. Or are you guys shaving that whole part of that?
I don't know if we have any box covers. Everything's going out to 4-1s.
No guardrail.
No. Off the top of my head, everything's gonna be built, so obviously we all have standards that we gotta go by. And if at all possible, we avoid guardrail because it's a maintenance nightmare, it costs a lot of money. So the end to end on that box cover, our slopes are a 4-1 out for 35 feet. And then a 3-1 down from there, which meets our federal standards to not meet guardrail. So there won't be guardrail from 44 to 21.
They go off, on the tulies, that swamp.
They just need a tow truck and larger cable. You're still on the wheels. Yeah.
They should have put their phone down to begin with.
And then you're gonna put that same gravel oil-based thing down after the road's done, like you did on 21?
Yes, yep, it'll
The
get
seal
its,
coat.
it'll get its under seal and seal coat. Now, that will likely not happen until next year. Depending on if we run out of time, because they don't like to put that down after about September 15th. And we probably won't have the wear down by September. So that will
This is
be,
when the 2021 looked like hell by the intersection and it was too damn hot and pushed it out and it looked better than my motorcycle anymore. It's slick in some spots.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. That form, so from our side of it, even if it looks like it's peeled up in places, we figure we're gaining about 10 years of road life out of that chip seal. Because that top wear course that's on the very top never sees sun until obviously that layer breaks down. So we've been doing that now, don't quote me on this, but I'm gonna say 4 to 5 years. So in our world, it's still really young. We haven't gone far enough to see if we're getting that life cycle out of it. That's just the projections we're having, that we have right now. So, but with that being said, we aren't seeing issues as of yet. Those roads are wearing better, at year 5. So we're hoping that progresses through. But back to learning, because none of us are perfect, we are learning there's days that we just can't do it. And there was a few days this summer that we shouldn't have. That's the fact of the matter. We had a bunch, the contractor had a bunch of cars getting detailed all fall long,
Oh, yeah. So
so.
I'm more worried about, okay, we spent the money and it didn't do the purpose.
So the parts that are coming up on the vehicles, we're still getting that layer down in the grand scheme of things. We're still getting the product down. Where it's peeled up there in those sections, the plow will never get to it because it's this much deeper than the rest of the road. You're not getting that skimming on it. The salt really still isn't getting it because you've got the oil on there. So we still feel it's better than not having anything.
They probably wouldn't have swept it as soon. Left more of the rock on it maybe, but it says catch 22. Do I pay for car washes or do I detail cars? And we're planning on getting it up to 98 degrees and the blacktop pushing it up.
Yeah, and it's not a perfect science either, because I mean, there's polymers in that oil, and some days they react really well for us, and some days they don't react really well for us, and there's no true, that's exactly what did it to us today, right? You got heat, you got lack of sunlight, you got extra wind one day, you don't have wind the next day. There's a lot of variables to doing that, because it is such a thin layer.
I mean, they paved the road, I mean, it's like right on glass. I mean, the 96 car was like brand new, and they put all that gravel, and now it's all water.
Yeah, it's loud, yeah, it's no doubt about it.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, any more questions? Again, I think, Jake, I think just the communication, we need to be, keep in touch on, as these things start to happen, please send me the links and messaging, and we'll get that posted on our stuff. We'll definitely, advertise to get the notifications and sign up for that for our residents. I think that's gonna be big. Yeah.
And most people sign up for the text right to the phone, so they get it instantly. They don't have to look at Gmail or Outlook or whatever. So,
Yep.
yeah, if we can get it out, that'd be great.
Perfect.
So,
Jake, well, I really appreciate you coming tonight to talk through this. It's really helpful to see that and see the plan and understand it and be able to ask those questions. So
fantastic. And all you guys got my number. If something
Well, we
comes
got your
up,
number.
give me a call. It's easier just to
Yep.
call or text direct.
Yep.
And as you guys know, I mean, sometimes the email, I might not see that email till 6 or 7 at night, depending on the day. So if there's something there, I much prefer phone or text if there's something that we got to look at right now. So,
Perfect.
okay.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank
You
you.
too.
See you later.
All right. No public hearings tonight, no general business tonight. Any council member updates?
No, Mr. Mayor. So as I was listening to Jake, I thought,
Not from State Farm.
no. 20 years from now, if someone's watching this, they won't understand that, of course, but whatever the case, I think, and I will go ahead and do it if you would like, I think listening to that and thinking about the traffic, possibly on Murphy, probably time to get the quotes from the Dust Cove people as to what we're looking at price wise.
Yeah.
So I will contact them.
And we could get it maybe scheduled a little earlier this year, dust coating.
Yeah, I looked back, we were May 25th, I believe, last year. If we can get everything shaped up and dried out, So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we thinking maybe more like mid-May?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weight restrictions come off by the 15th.
So, okay, so
I can
I'll
I
mention
can
that.
get Klingberg's to haul right away and
Okay.
we could do it.
Okay.
Somebody in the back, Chris.
Kathy, open form's closed.
Started at the time that 27 is gonna close.
We probably can't do it that early.
April, why not?
Road restrictions will be on. We probably won't, well, we won't be able to get gravel hauled. Well, we have places we need to haul gravel into.
We still can't get those trucks out here. They're overweight,
Yeah.
tanker truck and whatever.
Mhm.
I will explain to them that we have unusual circumstances. I
Yeah.
think those are the two words we'll use. And I mean, we've worked with them long enough. They'll help us.
Okay, anything else, Brent?
No, I thought about that with Jake. I thought, well, just wanted to get the go ahead to get.
Is there
started.
anything noteworthy out of service delivery this morning? Scale? Was it fencing ordinances for towing? I think we're the big.
Yeah,
topics.
new market, Elko New Market was looking at ordinances for towing, but they don't have any tow companies
Mhm.
in Elko New Market.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
That's all I've got.
Anything?
Just looked at some curb damage and
Oh,
minor
country
stuff.
court, yep. Patching up there.
Yep. So
That's about it.
this. So a few members asked on trailer parking and so forth. Not much report there.
Okay.
I think they're concerned about.
Mhm. All right, sounds good. Then we'll move on to claim listing. Tonight, we have $74,438 in claims to pay. Anybody want to pull any of those and discuss them, or I would take a motion to approve the claims for tonight? Motion, Andrew Stevens. Second. Second, Leroy Schomer. Motion and a second to approve the claims tonight of $74,438.94. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. And I would take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
You
Beat you to it.
So sweet.
gonna second it though, Andrew?
I will solidly second that.
All right. Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Well, thank you, everybody, for attending.
Where do you want me to start?